Hi, good morning, everyone. It's February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. We're going to get started here. For first folks on the list for giving their weekly update is the Notebook team, and that's Grant, Thomas, and Jason.
Hello. So
Hi.
I think the main focus is that we're getting incrementally closer to Notebook 5.0. There was a bug fix 4.4 release that came out within the last week, but we're really trying to close in on 5.0, and the plan is to push out beta 1 hopefully today after this meeting. So if there's anything that people are dead keen to get into 5.0, then please make sure that we're aware of that. And yeah, we'll be inviting people to test a beta release.
Great, and I think we're going to try out a new process where you create an issue on the project management repo. As a kind of like a placeholder, and then once that issue has been created, I can drop that on one of the project calendars. And I wonder if that's worth talking about. That came up on the mailing list, and there was some response to that, some thumbs up. Other folks.
It seems
Feeling is that formalizing the release procedures probably makes sense for this kind of big release. I don't want to add lots of more steps to doing the small releases because, we have about a dozen different packages, and, when you need to do a bug fix release, I don't want it to be taking 10 different steps to release each one.
To me, it seems more consolidated and keeping just more consolidated and more natural to make that issue on the project's GitHub rather than a project management GitHub. But certainly there could be a link to it from the project management GitHub. But that way, all the issues for the project are together, including the release issues.
Yeah, I like that better. To be honest, I mean, it's nice for me to get pinged that way, but I think that a better way to ping me would be to just mention me in the release, the issue within the repo.
And 5.0 has already 2150, which is open on Notebook. I can ping you on it.
Perfect.
Right.
Yeah, I think that'll, and you can still add that to the calendar. Any Jupyter, any repo, you can put stuff on the project calendar stuff, right?
And we can automate it with tags or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's what we're working toward. And we'll talk about that in the tutorial. But the calendars that live at the org level, so the Jupyter, the ones that we have now are the team event calendar, and then this just a general project calendar, which is what I'll probably add the releases to, the general project calendar at the org level. Those I can bring in issues from any repo. There's the project management repo that also has projects within that. That part of the projects I can only bring in from the project management repo. So there's two layers of projects. You can run projects, these agile boards, both at the repo level, and those only bring in the issues from your repo, and you can run it at the org level. And the ones at the org level, you can bring in issues from all repos across the org. So that's what I would do. Cool. All right. Sorry to interrupt you, Thomas. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
I was going to say we also released 4.4.1, which basically has one patch to enable IPyWidget 6.0 on it. There is one more change to fix a long-standing feature request frustration with widgets that we could make a 4.5, I suppose, technically, or 4.4.2 anyway, we're waiting to see if there's any other changes to the notebook for widget 6 before doing another release of the notebook. But to answer Min's question, widgets do work on notebook 4.4.1. It's just this allows you to also clear widgets when you clear the outputs. So it's a feature addition, but
Thanks.
resolves a long-standing frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thanks, Jason. Thomas, was there anything else you wanted to share with us today?
No, I think that's it for notebooks.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Do we have Grant? Nope. Okay, thanks, guys. Next, Jupyter Lab. Darian just joined. Steve, I think you're here already. You guys want to give us an update?
Sure. We released version 16 last week as promised, and then I just released a 16.2 that had some fixes for the cell tools editor. There's a rendering issue, and then some CSS updates are in there as well. Big thing going on this week is we had a request from Grant to have a richer model given to a renderer MIME instance, so that it can add and remove MIME types and use the metadata and change it. And so the outcome of that was we needed a live model to give to the render MIME. Ian had been working as part of his real-time API PR. He had made an observable map, which is modeled after the Google Drive real-time map. So what we're doing now is walking that map through the render MIME, the output area, the cells, and the notebook. The metadata of each of those things are now live objects. So it's cleaned up what we were doing for the metadata before, and overall it's making things a lot cleaner. So thanks to Ian for giving us that tool. Darian is still working on his refactor of the major things that you add to notebooks and consoles, being tooltip, completer, and inspector, and making those writing those as if they were third-party additions. So not assuming any prioritization of being part of Jupyter Lab. So it's a good exercise of having a clean way of adding enhanced features to our existing base. So he's pushing through that. The other major thing is we got some feedback on the need for dashboarding and conversations of what that looks like. So there's an open issue on Jupyter Lab discussing what types of dashboarding we might add to the Jupyter Lab application. And that's it.
Thanks. Darian, did you have anything you wanted to add there?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Thanks, Steve. Widgets. Jason.
Continual progress towards 6. Widget 6, we've got about 12 issues down, 12 to go. Sylvan and I are knocking through them, and there's some other people commenting on them. I think the biggest blocker for us right now is meeting with Cameron and Brian on design work, or one of the bigger blockers for us. And I don't see either of them here on the list of people participating, so I guess we'll ping them after the meeting. And then a second note, Carol, not to jump the gun, but I see you have an amazing status report in your Jupyter Hub, and I clicked on it, and it has all the issues that have closed in the last week, et cetera. It's sort of a snapshot in time pulse. Is that automated? Is there a way we could also take advantage?
I think we can automate it. It's automated. The guy Andrew who does libraries.io, we were working on it back over the holidays, and I think what we can just do is take it and add like a field for organizations, and then just have it do the markdown for each of the major areas. So yeah, that should be no problem, and happy to do it for next time.
Awesome, thanks. I've been wanting to try to get this snapshot in time pulse, status summary for a while now, but I didn't realize you could do that from the issue filtering.
Well, it's actually like a Ruby app that does it, and then also I'm going to be at GitHub tomorrow, and there's some folks that are maintainers of some of the other projects across the open source community, and there will likely be dialogue about organizations and what GitHub can do to make it a little more seamless and tools that people are using. So I'll let you know what I find. But yeah,
Awesome.
I'm happy to run the reports, so no problem.
Thanks so much. I think that would really add to these progress reports out to the mailing list, just to give an idea of the activity. That's all.
Thanks, Jason. And thanks, Carol. Let's see here. Oh, so let's move on into Jupyter Hub with Min and Carol.
Yeah, Carol's done a lot of great triaging and cleaning out all the issues and checking up on old things that have been fixed or are stale, and we've been plugging along on a variety of fronts. One of the interesting developments is the Data 8 deployment just had their first major issue that was mainly caused by someone made a mistake, and then they've gone through some nice details of what happened, what they tried to do to fix it, and come up with a few things Jupyter Hub could have done to make it easier to fix. So we've got UV's open a PR, and we've got a few other things to fix that are based on that.
Great. Thank you. Carol, do you have anything you wanted to add there?
No, just things are going fairly smoothly, and it's been great to have UV and the feedback from the Data 8 folks. So, and Min and I will get to see them in early March as well.
That's great. Super. All right, Mike, MB Convert.
Yes, so Thomas is working on getting a solution to the script exporter where we can have third-party libraries specifying for particular output formats what their default template should be. And we have to create a new set of entry points for that, and there's now a new issue, and that's the biggest thing that has happened there. Yeah.
Awesome job on picking that up so quickly, because I opened that pull request about 20 minutes before the meeting. So
you did add it to the notes. That helped.
Conferences and outreach. I don't think Anna's online. Let's see here. Nope. Let me just go through these real quick. Conferences, outreach, PyCon. Congrats to the tutorials, talks, posters, and education summit talks, acceptances. So acceptances went out, I think, was it last week? Looking for some confirmation down there. Okay.
The last couple weeks, well, last week and this week. And the poster session looks particularly good. There's a lot of data science use of Jupyter, which is kind of cool. And, overall, the team will be there in different ways for tutorials, for talks, and for the Education Summit talks as well. So
awesome.
Good job, everybody.
Yay.
Which I believe is now sold out, by the way. In case anyone was interested in going to the Education Summit, I was registering yesterday, and it had listed it as sold out.
Yeah.
Email Jess. Mike, you can talk to me offline. We'll see if we can work that out.
Sure, I just wanted people to know, especially if they're watching this in the public, so that they're not disappointed.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. Yeah, it will likely the whole conference will sell out fairly soon too. And then I'm working with some folks to try and do some outreach on JupyterCon. Thank you for folks that have responded on that. I'm a little behind on my email, but I will get something out today or tomorrow, following up on that. And that's all I have for that.
Cool. All right. Call for CFP for SciPy opened last week. So, folks who want to present at SciPy might want to start putting your materials together. And then registration opens on February 27th. PyData Amsterdam's April 8th and 9th, and the CFP is due the 5th of March. And looks like PyData London is May 5 through 7, and the CFP is due February 24th. So there's a lot of work over the next couple weeks to do if folks want to participate in these conferences. They sound fun. Cool. All right, let's keep on going. Services, Pete, Kernel Gateway, Docker Stacks, etc.
Released Kernel Gateway 1.2. It was minor release yesterday. I've been saying that we're going to do it for a couple weeks now. I'll post a release message to the mailing list, and the change log has all the information at the bottom of this page too. I put another note in there. There's some known API changes in Notebook 5 that Kernel Gateway has to be adjusted to account for, and I'll get on testing that real soon. And thank you, Matthias, for putting a link over the other Notebook issue about that.
Thank you. Is that the end?
Yeah.
Okay. And seen. All right. Thank you, Pete. All right. Action items for this week. Are there no action items? Oh, you're on mute, Pete. I don't know if you're talking to me or not.
It's not there, sitting next to me.
Cool. All right. So it looks like we have a lot of releases. Let me go back up to the top of the notes here. I did just remember that I'd added 2 sections to the top of the notes. One was a feedback on Dropbox paper from last week, and overall it sounds like people really like it. Lots of thumbs up, lots of vowels and exclamation points. Everything seemed to work for some folks, but okay, so we're missing the comment feature. So you can put your cursor, or I think you highlight the text, and then there's like a little toolbar pops up, and on the right side of that toolbar there's a comment icon. Also, a comment icon will also show up in the right hand margin if you hover in the right place. I was using it fine yesterday or last night, but I'm not able to get it to work right now.
Is there a way to do that only with keyboard or keyboard commands? Like, so I don't have to touch the trackpad or mouse? It's fine if the answer is no. I just like knowing.
Ew, the mouse. Yeah, I don't know. You could Google that.
I'll look into it. Yeah.
If you hover the toolbar that pops up, it does tell you the hotkeys.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Pete. Thanks, Mike, for asking the question. Let's see. It looks like, Matthias, you had some moments where you were disconnected. Is that happening today?
Less, but a couple of things I have written just disappeared after 15 seconds. Like I wrote something and just poof.
Huh. Okay. So are you typing kind of in the same area that someone else is, or? Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah. If there's some way to record that, or we can get feedback to them, that would be useful. Oh, there's the comment. MP, thank you. So I had a hard time logging back in last week. I haven't been able to reproduce the problem, so hopefully that was just some buggy thing that'll be fixed soon. Do folks have any other comments about Dropbox paper that they'd like to share here? No. All right, cool. Let me just touch on, I want to loop back on the action items from last week. I meant to do that at the beginning, and I'll try to make that my habit, is just to start the meeting with the action items from last week. So feedback on Steve's cell metadata editor. Did you get enough feedback there, Steve?
Yes, it was in the 16 release, and we got a bug report about it that prompted the 16.2 release. So yeah.
Okay. You may have mentioned that in your update. Also, Fernando scheduled a meeting with Min and Data 8 team to discuss HubShare. Did that happen, Min?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Great. So that's everything from my end. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. So we have a bunch of releases this week, stuff that was released last week, and then things that should be released soon, 5.0 and 5.0 B1. I think folks made those updates during their reports. Yeah, and then just go ahead and record your Dropbox paper feedback at the end. And I'll wrap it up here. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate your time. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Bye.